Well, welcome back to what I believe is episode 6 of Walk the Walk. And some pretty significant changes have gone down since then. People might notice I look a little bit more like a crackhead. That's because there's been a pretty definitive shift in body weight, a pretty significant amount of progress been made between the last video, which I believe was 4 weeks ago, and this week. Big visual shift. You might even throw the visual shift in the corner here, just to get a little bit of a look at the body weight. I'm actually not 100% sure of. I'm not 100% sure of my name right now. Admittedly, it's getting pretty tough now. I'm not going to lie, there's no point in me sitting here kind of saying, I'm standing in the face of adversity and bearing and gritting, which of course I am. I'm getting my shit done every single day like I'm supposed to, but it is getting difficult. I think I spoke about in the previous video that my prep was moved forward so that we had a shorter time frame than originally planned. Jesus. But irrespective of that, it's been a pretty tough slog the past kind of 2 to 3 weeks, and then this week has been the onset of probably the most difficult week that it's going to be. So food is right back down, so we're running protein veg. If you want to call it a rapid fat loss protocol, if you just want to call it, a heavy deficit, whatever label you want to put it on. We've upped the ante in pretty much every aspect. I'm on an hour's cardio a day, 20,000 steps. I'm on roughly 1,500 calories with trace carbohydrates, veg extract, made up predominantly of protein and vegetables. So definitely the nitty gritty end of it now, 3.5 weeks out from the MK and then 5.5 weeks out from the British. The rationale behind kind of what we're doing now is that if we kind of look at the prospective timeline that we have in place from this moment onwards, or at least from the start of this week onwards, there's only really a short amount of time that we can really drive the body into a hole like that before it potentially affects the look really negatively. Obviously we need to get the condition. Condition is like your qualifier. Condition is the thing that allows you, in my opinion, to be judged in the first place. You should be conditioned and everything else comes after that. You should only really walk on stage if you're in significant condition. So this is the week, potentially a little bit longer if Cal decides to push it on a little bit more, that we have to kind of get that done. So there's going to be a pretty rapid shift between now and next week. And even for me, I think the difficulty that I'm in now and the hardship that this is, which is admittedly what it is, it's very difficult at this point in time. When I am in condition, I'm in striking distance, the stress that will alleviate in my own head is going to be worth this difficulty for the next couple of days. This is the game that we play, this is the game that we love, this is what we do, and like I said in the previous video, this the catalyst to me being so open and on it and almost embracing of the suck, if you will, has come from this like newfound clarity in terms of what I want to do for the next couple of years. Again, I don't think I said it in the last video, but I'm going to say it now. I'm really gunning for a pro card at some point. Will it be this year? I don't know, but I truly believe now, based on the people around me, based on the conversations that I've had with people who are, so far ahead of me, that I can do it. And belief is the first step to success, and that's kind of where my head is at right now, which is a really cool feeling. So every time that I'm kind of in the depths of it, every time I'm very much living in that discomfort, I do think about the fact that I do have this newfound clarity that's given me what I need to get through it. And I don't think if I found that clarity, I think if that was something that was still in the back burner and I still had that kind of I'm showing that I can do this as a coach mindset, I don't think I'd be able to do what I'm doing now, if I'm honest with you. So it's been a blessing and it's been a realization and it's been a very special couple of weeks for me. So that's kind of where we're at. Also, I got myself a new set of gnashers. So I have done the Turkish job, and when I got myself new teeth. Again, I think a lot of the time, this might seem so separated from bodybuilding, I think a lot of the time people, when they see people do this kind of thing, a lot of it is based in vanity. For me, it was nothing to do with vanity. It was more so confidence. I am obviously somebody who educates, who speaks in public, who speaks on social media, who is becoming a recognised name, if you will. And for me, having all the boxes ticked that allow me to be confident, to be professional, to be convincing within what I do, that all linked into, and in part, the way that I look. And this has made me feel like a new man. This is the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Between getting my dog and getting my teeth, I've never been more settled and more confident and more happy in decision. And I really do feel like a new person. So that's another thing. And I feel great. And, well, feel great is probably a loose term. I look great. But I don't think I feel too good. So, going to take you along today. We got Upper with the boys in FLF in about an hour's time. We also have Adam coming in. Adam is AB Perform, who is a manual therapist and physio and genuine wonder kid in this field. I am somebody who would have had a little bit of discontent at times to the kind of manual therapy world because, again, some of the claims that are made, but Adam is incredibly clued in. He's very switched on. He takes a kind of total body, kind of a comprehensive approach to what he does, and it's a very cool thing to see. He's only 23. He's actually Irish like myself, and he's probably going to be in a couple of videos going forward, and we're hopefully going to get him the recognition that he deserves because he's very good and he deserves to be known. and he really wants to cement himself into the physique athlete space and helping people like us to get better, to move better, to feel better, and to layer that icing on the cake that will allow you to progress further. He's a very, very cool guy. You'll see some clips of him. You might have seen him speak a little about what he's doing. But he's been helping me out, coming to the house, allowing me to kind of sustain the workload that I have by not having to go anywhere, because that's another thing. So, for me, the way that this has had to be done and the way that this process has had to be ran is that, my routine has had to be absolutely solid. So obviously I'm still working with the full roster of clients. So at this point in time, I'm up about 3:30 in the morning. I'm down, I'm coffee, I got my lipolytics, any kind of drugs that I do in the morning, any kind of supplements that I do in the morning, they're in. I'm back up in front of the computer by about 4:15. I do a work block from about 4:15 to about kind of 5:30, 20 to 6. I'll then go do my cardio, come back, pose, coffee, shower, back in for another work block till about 10:30, go for another bout of steps, back in another work block from about 11 till about kind of 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I'm going on training with the boys, and depending on the intensity of the session, or depending on kind of what session in itself, I may cap off work at that stage, but most of the time I'm coming back, I'm doing another couple of hours, getting my meals in, and repeating that process. I put it on Instagram today, you really have to own your responsibilities in this. A lot of coaches who prep will see things drop off, and human error is human error, fatigue is fatigue, there's always going to be a little bit that slips, but the onus is on you. And the responsibility is on you to continue to sustain the service that you provide, and to continue to make sure that your clients are given what they deserve, what they pay for, and what they need as athletes. They're your athletes. They do not become second. They do not take a back seat because you've then taken that role as an athlete. If anything, you're leading from the front, and you need to show them and set the example for you, for them, for everyone, to show that you are doing what you do in the best way that you can possibly do it. So, without further ado, we're going to take you along to FLF now in a little bit. Adam's going to be here now in a second. He's going to give me a little rub down. Last week, actually, a bit of a niggle. Funny enough, and ironically, Adam was here. I left. I got my first injury in about 3 years, and he just happened to come back and be in the house and actually do another treatment again. So big up Adam on that one. So he's back in again. I'll be seeing him every kind of 1 to 2 weeks. But lots of cool shit going on. Big week ahead for myself, like I said, so far as pulling back. And then I have some clients competing in the 2 Bros Graftism this weekend. So I'll actually go down to Callum later on this week to get a check in with him, do a little bit with Mr. Hector, and then heading down to London to hopefully secure a bag of win with Cleo, who is an exceptionally talented bikini athlete who I currently work with. And the following week we're off to Alicante, and then not too long after that we're off to Dallas. So it's a pretty jam-packed couple of months, like I said, but we're going to bring you along for the ride, and I really appreciate all the support, all the attentiveness, all the feedback has been incredible, and it goes a long way. It keeps me going. It gives me the accountability that I need to keep doing what I'm doing, and I really do appreciate it. So let's crack on, let's do our thing. Another day at work. Peace. Loads of melatonin going in every now and again.
The longevity side as well, it's going to keep yourself. So I'll just test your things today again.
Yeah, what you gotta do, bro?
Just grab that seat there, yeah. Sit there, face me. Give yourself an extra 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
In the morning times.
Yeah, I will do.
Massive. See where everybody's at, man.
I will.
Be smart,
Yeah,
be smart.
I will.
Do, man.
I don't need to know now.
Yeah, no, be smart. 100%.
Smooth. Lucy. Goosey. I haven't cut my fingernails this day.
So what you're saying is you got your teeth done, but you didn't cut your fingernails.
Oh yeah, it's crap life, isn't it? The teeth just stay there, nails you forget about. Too busy. Also, big up fucking JP filling that shit to the brim. I've done this 3 or 4 times, it's already still full. Big up JP. Because a lot of brands aren't doing that. And there's a lot, man.
Is it any good?
The pumpage.
Yeah.
Pumpage is deadly, man. I've been like a lot of pump formulas are like really poorly formulated. If you actually look at it, it's really, really well formulated. Again, it's formulated for both 1 and 2 scoops, which is really, really cool. Speaking of, I'm going to scoop and a half. I'm going to do a bit of a pump today. Even though I haven't had a pump in weeks, it's probably a hopeless endeavour, but sure look. But now I'm big up on JP. I think that, you know, with the way the supplements industry in the UK is going, I have to admit JP seems to be leading the pack. And obviously if anyone does want supplements from JP, you can use ProCoach10, get a bit of a discount. Doesn't actually benefit me, so it's not necessarily me trying to get anything out of you. But would highly recommend, and I've never had a more reliable source of supplements. I use all the range, the health range, performance range, pretty much everything I use is actually from JP these days, which is sick. Again, it's good to have reliable brands. And bottoms up.
Come on. 10. There we go. Now we work. Come on. Yeah, and again. Come on. One more. Come on. Up, 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 up. Yeah.
Take them high reps. Don't try and pitch records.
Go good.
Come on, Ross. Come on, Ross. So that you're doing it right. But the things have been misplaced. Do you know what I mean? So the body's defense mechanism isn't what it is. It isn't tightened up the right way. Yeah. Well, this is what it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So once bitten, twice shy. We can't come in with an arrogance almost, thinking we're going to have a different outcome.
Back at F11 again with the boys. I'm gonna ask him and Jay, 2 lads have been keeping me accountable now for 8-9 weeks, keep me on my shit. Gonna go in, catch this session, get it done, keep working hard, keep pushing each other. You know, it's really throughout this prep that I've seen the value in having legitimate training partners. Obviously Oscar's been looking after me for over a year now. Took me under his wing and has been there by my side the whole way through, as has Jay. And it's one of the most invaluable parts of this prep. I would have been giving less effort, giving less intensity, giving less work, letting the fatigue get the better of me. But thanks to the boys, I'm kept on my toes, kept moving, keep working hard right to the end. So very, very lucky. We're gonna get it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get the boys in, get the boys chatting, do what we do best. Let's work.
That's nice.
The outcome is very, very important. But so is the ability to stay present in every moment of every day, to then have the ability to really be able to document the whole process. And that is the only place that you can take away something to give someone else. You know what I mean?
So learn and stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be the most important. From here now, you're just gonna have another experience. You know, when you go on stage again and again, it's just gonna be like, well, this is my second time, it's my third time. But this right here, this is gold. You're gonna learn stuff about yourself that you did not know. is why I say, like, you do not know what your ability is at this moment in time. Hence why I say, like a delivery room, life will keep delivering out of you things you did not know that you had. You know what I mean? So you have no reference point at all of what you can or cannot do. But what you have is a ceiling where none of us know how high that can be.
I'm not called the Stairmaster.
What cardio? You can do cardio, yeah. How long on a Stairmaster not did Del's cardio?
Del cardio.
Can you imagine giving your coach that feedback? Coach like, what, 20 what? 20 minutes? No, it's Del's.
This is the exercise that riddled me last week.
It's time in that walk, right?
The big thing for this video and this session, I'm probably not going to be too vocal, so a little bit less value, but sometimes the most valuable thing is silence, so enjoy.
Hey, Ross.
Come on. Oh. Come on. Come on.
Got a bit of a niggle in kind of upper trap, shoulder area doing this. Just kind of let the head get the better of me, got a little bit too into it. It was directly after a treatment, so we know that there's going to be a bit of an acute shift in kind of like muscular length, potentially even joint position following a heavy treatment, so I probably should have considered that rather than getting in my own head and get too aggressive with it, and it kind of cost me a couple of days training, so I'm not approaching this anything other than cautious. And where the wiggle room is there to work hard, another exercise, I'm going to take it, but here I've got to be a little bit smarter. Steps. Portuguese Clark Kent.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on up. Come on.
Come on, Oz.
Oh, yes. Come on, Ross. Come on, Ross. Come on.
Yes.
Oh, ego getting ripped apart. Oh,
Doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't. Don't go fuck.
On the stage.
No,
That.
no.
Yeah, yo, before I move you to the middle, what was your shoulder pressing 2 weeks out? No, fuck that, go. To the outside where it's dark. We don't want you there.
I went from 5 PPS to 3 PPS. Into the shadows. To the shadows, you guys.
Relinquish your title if you do it.
Yeah. How many reps did I do?
5 and a bit.
What?
Did I do 5?
Five.
Obviously, my first prep was for men's physique. It was a very unmuscled version of myself than I am now. And it's a whole different kettle of fish when you're carrying more muscle. It's a whole different kettle of fish when the goal is very clear. You know, the first time I competed was, you know, for the experience of it all, for the most part. And that's kind of where this, you want to call it a passion, kind of ignited itself. But I think when I'm very clear on what I want, and you know, when it's right there in front of me in terms of what I need to do it, you get in there, you get it done. It doesn't make it any less difficult, there's clarity. I think that's something that maybe people preconceive a little bit, is that, you know, like if you're clear on what you want, sometimes the people say, you know, it makes the process a little bit more straightforward. It absolutely doesn't. You know, you got to get in there and you got to do what you got to do. And right now I'm doing just that, you know, and I think I'm learning a lot about my ability to handle all of the shit that goes on. You know, I think previous to this, I would have thought that my work demands were high, and that was the rationale for me not being able to be as attentive to my off season towards the latter end of it. But I've been able to work at the highest level I've ever worked at. I've been able to train at the highest level I've ever trained at, and at the same time I'm pulling myself down to levels of body fat and muscularity that I've never had before. It's just action, it's responsibility, and it's being clear on what you want and being responsible for your own shit. You know, people aren't busy, they're just not responsible. That's the reality of it. That's what I've learned.
Come on. Oh my God. All right. It's okay. Now we win. Yeah. Good. Here we go.
For me, there's no evidence importance as anecdotal evidence, and Ross is going to tell you that now, because some things you can't study, do you know what I mean, or you can't preempt. The body is so complex that you don't know how it's going to react in levels of low body fat and this and that. Then it just becomes more psychological. As Jay calls it, it's a game of chess. Every day you wake up, it's like, who's going to get checkmate, do you know what I mean? So these are the things that I feel, if you convey in the camera, the people who are thinking, oh, I'm going to compete. You have 22-year-olds who've trained for 3 years thinking, yeah, I want to compete at next year. It's like, mate, no, I'd take a bit more time, enjoy my training, build a bit more muscle, but not even with the goal to compete. Just train, learn the skill, which it takes time. You know, training hard takes time. Learning how to train hard, learning the skill of certain movements takes time. Do you know what I mean? And those movements are very important if you put on as much muscle as possible. So I feel this is not an episode to document training. Otherwise, there's no value that's coming across to the audience that are going to be watching this behind the street. So at this point in time, my question is, how are you managing every day's level of focus? Like, you wake up today, you say you're focused. Like, what do you have in place for that?
First thing I do, as soon as I get up, first thing I do is journal. First thing I do, start getting the head right. Because if I just get wrapped up in the way that I'm feeling first thing in the morning, it's going to stay with me all day. I need that ability to get rid of what I've compartmentalised in my head at that point in time and get it out on paper, rationalise, read it back, tell myself this is all part of the game, it's all part of the space, and just constantly reinforcing why I'm doing it. You know, then following that, it's a little bit of reading, again, something that's thought-provoking, something like the Daily Stoic or some kind of stoicism, be it Aurelius or whatever, and then sitting back in front of the journal, I'm just thinking about the people who I'm accountable to. Callum, Jay, Oscar, JL, Grace. Like I said in that post, it's like you said to me, it's bigger than me now. You know, we're a team. This might be a selfish, you know, lonely sport if you want to call it that, but not for me, it's not. This isn't my thing, this is our thing. This is it's a collective effort. You know, the effort that you personally shown towards me and what I'm doing, it's just, there's no other way to talk about this other than a team. You know, we're a team of 3 when we get in here. And then we're a collection, we're like a cooperation when you start adding in Callum, when you start adding in Grace, and you start adding in the gym. It's bigger than that, it's community, it's, you know, that's what keeps you going. And that's what keeps me going. Because like I said, it's more than just for me now. And if it was just for me, and this was a selfish endeavour, I wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah, I feel, and that's the importance of accountability, you know. If you have other people to answer to, then, you know, then it's just not about yourself. You know, there's other names that you put in a basket. It's never your only name in a basket. This is going to pick up and finish with there.
I'll jump straight in here.
So the first time I met Ross was on a Zoom call. I think you had a Zoom call with Callum, and I was just down for the weekend. I was just pottering about, and you know, Cal shouted at me. He was in the office, and he said, "Right, come and meet my friend Ross. I was moving to Manchester." And yeah, so I came and said hello on the screen, and then he said okay with me, and then something that's mad happened. I just nipped into the shop next door, which I never do, and Ross had come down to view the apartment, and they were just met at the door. They called like, Oscar, oh Ross, and then that was it. You viewed the apartments, then off you went back. Then obviously the rest is history. But what is the role since sort of that call that you had? You could condense it in how important.
Callum's not one to take praise a lot of the time, but Callum facilitated everything for me. You know, I wouldn't have any kind of belief in myself, I think, as a professional. If it wasn't for Cal, I wouldn't have got the opportunity that I was given if not for Cal. You know, the muscle mentors, then pro coach, the encouragement to move here. Honestly, a lot of it is down to him. The reason I know Oscar is down to Cal. The reason I have the house I have now is down to Cal, and of course Luke Hoffman. But honestly, Cal's my hero, man. One champ. Visualization is very, very much underestimated. You know what I mean? It's like when you're doing the set, if you have a blank mind, it's like when fatigue presents itself, the easiest thing to do is stop. But if your mind is occupied with visualization and you're trying to visualize how you want to look, so you know what I mean? Everything in life is based on imagination. That's the first process, and then we work hard to make that imagination a reality. Without imagination, visualization, you got nothing.
Why are you doing that, lad?
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why. Get up.
Why?
Get up.
Yeah.
You've been suffered too long.
What's going through the mind right now, bro?
Sorry?
What's going through the mind right now?
Winning.
Just pacing and winning.
Pacing and winning. Worked too hard not to do what I said I was going to do. Way too hard. And you know, the reality is win, lose or draw, man. And I can confidently say to myself that there's not many people out there working as hard as I am and doing what I'm doing here. You know, I win anyway, but there's only one thing on my mind now, man. And it's getting the novice British overall.
Do you feel you have the point to prove?
I got a point to prove, man. At the start it was about proving that I can do it. You know, I can go through that process and, you know, I can kind of back up my shit as a professional. But now it's about backing up my shit as an athlete.
Do you see any doubt online about it?
I've got some doubt. If we didn't have doubt, then your goals wouldn't be big enough, man.
What about like outside doubt from other people?
I block it out, man. Block it out. I'm not. Like, other people don't matter. You know, like I said it today on social media. Like I'm not out to prove anyone wrong. I'm out to prove everyone right. I'm proving Oscar right. I'm proving Jay right. I'm proving Cal right. I'm proving you right. I'm proving Grace right. That's all I give a fuck about. I don't care about people, naysayers. Like I don't concern myself with them. I don't even know who's in my class. I don't know who I'm competing against. Quite frankly, that's not really important. What's important to me is making sure that all the people who believe in me and what I can do, that I back up what I say I'm going to do for them, and like I said, I prove them right.
Right back. There you go.
Yes.
That's it.
Really challenging there. All the way forward.
Come on.
Again. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Right, so we're going to outro this here. Just got one more exercise, but I don't think I have it in me to talk after that one. So that's it, pretty much done and dusted. The boys, yet again, carrying me through. Cannot thank the lads enough. Jay, Osk, you know, the ability to get in here and get it done is getting harder and harder, but you know, I'm getting carried, I'm getting motivated, I'm getting encouraged every single day by these boys, you know, and as you can see, obviously Osk took over a lot of the kind of conversational bits here, because right now I just don't have it in me, you know, and that's what, like, true companionship and true friendship is, and I'll never be able to thank the boys enough for that. So that's pretty much us done. Gonna be back again hopefully at some stage in the next kind of week or two, getting back in, maybe even moving into a rest day, just give you a little insight into kind of how I operate my work day when I'm not training, and kind of how things are looking a little bit closer to the show again, because next time you see me I'll be somewhere about a week and a half, 2 weeks out, so it's gonna get very exciting. But yet again guys, thank you so much for joining, honestly. Like I said, the support is always overwhelming, and I never thought I'd enjoy doing something as much as I do, as creating these videos and documenting all this, and you know, it's priceless, and the fact that I share it with all you guys and I share it with people around me makes it all the more priceless. So like, subscribe, share, tell your man, tell your auntie, join me for the next one. Slán the volume.